Hey, this is Pablo Carro, co-founder of Playtomic and Padel Evangelist, and this is the Sports Business Conversation podcast from ADC Partners.
Hey, this is Dave Almy of ADC Partners, your host for the award-winning Sports Business Conversations podcast. Yeah, you heard that right. Award-winning. I mean, it's not a big deal. Okay, maybe it's kind of a big deal. Okay, my mom thinks it's a big deal. But I digress. Now, I don't know if you've heard about this new racket sport that's going like crazy. Let's see if you can figure out what it is. It's easy to learn. It's super fun to play, and it begins with the letter P. Yeah, you guessed it. It's paddle. Now, if you live outside North America, you probably guessed right and were unsurprised at the answer. Paddle, after all, has been exploding all over Europe, Latin America, South America, and elsewhere. But if you live in North America, you'll be forgiven for thinking of pickleball. Perhaps you've maybe never even heard of paddle. Well, that's about to change. And Pablo Carro, the co-founder of Playtomic and a paddle evangelist, is the one behind it. A competitive tennis player, Carro fell in love with paddle the first time he played it, and has been on a mission to grow the sport around the world ever since. In our conversation, we talk about the explosive growth of paddle worldwide, and why the U.S. is primed to follow. We go into the role of Playtomic in the sport's upward trajectory, the support of tennis legend Rafael Nadal, the findings of the latest Global Padel Report, and much more. I mean, it's not often you get to listen in on someone talking about the next big thing. So enjoy my conversation with Pablo Carro, co-founder of Playtomic and paddle evangelist. Pablo, you have a deep experience playing tennis, and I'm wondering if you can just, as we get rolling, as we get started, can you talk a little bit about your playing days and how that shaped your love of racket sports? How did it all begin for you?
Well, I wouldn't say I was a great tennis player. I was the kind of tennis player that was practicing mainly in summertime because I was combining it with football, with soccer. European soccer. And the fact is that my dad was extremely obsessed with tennis. He was an advanced and quite competitive tennis player, and very early he tried to convince me, to persuade me to practice it a couple of days per week, and then in summertime, as I said. And well,
so this is a family thing. This is you and dad out a lot.
My dad was the kind of person that was, let's say, waking up every midnight for watching Australian Open, and
he was obsessed.
He was obsessed. I mean, he was a kind of freak, a tennis freak. He was watching tennis matches all day long, and he was a good tennis player. So that exactly, that was a family thing. My brother, my oldest brother, wasn't like very obsessed with it, but I took it, and to be honest, I've never been a great tennis player.
I think in this conversation, though, like if we played, I'm pretty sure you would beat me pretty handily in tennis. So in the context of this podcast, you're an excellent tennis player.
You want me? If you want to consider me as a great tennis player, I'll accept.
You won't say no.
Exactly, I wouldn't say no. But getting back to the Padel connection, Spain experienced a kind of booming with Padel at the end of the 90s.
Okay.
It was mainly pushed by the kind of high class, and actually the Prime Minister of Spain was very, very advanced Padel player. But it all started in these kind of country clubs, and at a certain point, it started to become a cool thing, right? A cool thing. And at that point, I was in high school.
Okay, so that was the first time you saw it was in high school.
Yeah, that was early 2000s. And then it's like, I mean, everyone says the same. I mean, you try it and you immediately get engaged, right? So So that happened to me. But to be honest, it was the cool thing at that time. And this cool thing has also impacted heavily in the paddle expansion around the world. Is not only the fact, and we will talk about this for sure, about the paddle essence and the
Yeah,
driving
yeah.
force, etc. But it's not only the social component. It's a cool thing. I mean, it because it gathers many components that make it cool,
All
right?
right. Well, let's talk about that then, because as it, like in the U.S. where I'm based, it's still relatively it's growing, but it
Mhm.
still doesn't have a ton of familiarity to it. So for people who are hearing about paddle the first time, can you talk a little bit about can you describe the sport, and then to use your words, what is that cool factor about it that drew you to it? So a little description of paddle, and then the
Well,
hip for the kids, as it were.
in my end that tennis and squash had a baby, right? But a kind of baby that grew up wanted to be the life of the party, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, this kind of social baby in which it's all around, it's all surrounded by social elements. I mean, you need four people,
Yep.
but you don't need to be physically great for practicing it. You don't need tons of hours to get a decent, let's say, level.
Your skill
It's
set can
easy to
kind of come
learn.
along quickly.
Exactly, it's easy, extremely easy to learn.
Okay.
It's very inclusive, as I said, and it's, I don't like the word, but it's ridiculously addictive, right? It's like,
Yep.
um, and the social element makes it even better because, as I said, it's not a particularly big space. So it's like 200 square meters in which the dynamic of the game is quite fast, but not extremely fast, in which you have the opportunity to talk to your partner, but also to talk to your opponents. And one thing that it makes it very, very interesting is that it facilitates a lot the the aftermaths, right? I mean, after the match, it's like you tend to have a new conversation with your partner or with your opponents, and it happens a lot that they have a drink afterwards, or they or they plan a new match for the next day, etc. So this social component it is becoming extremely important. And answering your question about, I mean, the US is not a huge thing yet, but I mean, we're getting there. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's growing.
seriously, David. I mean, it's growing fast.
Yeah.
To be honest, having founded this company, I've never seen a market in which the velocity of the supply, the clubs, the infrastructure needed for developing the sport has grown so fast. I mean, we had something like 80 clubs in August last year. Now we have 120, but I'm absolutely sure that we're gonna at least double it in the next conversation we're going to have next year in August
All
in
right.
my
So
vacations.
I'm
So it's like,
I'm making a note on
yeah,
my calendar. We'll check back in August when you're back on
exactly.
vacation. I'll call you in the middle of your vacation, and you'll be like, "Gosh darn it, I
Let's
shouldn't have
see.
said
Let's
this to
see
him."
if I was right or not. But it's. I mean, it's growing. We're getting there. And more importantly, the players are behaving in the same way that they behave in Europe or in UAE or in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are also getting engaged. They
Yeah.
they play what we call open matches, in which, I mean, you play with people that you don't know at your same level. So it's like it's happening. It's happening.
It's very social. And so, can you also, because I've watched some video of paddle being played, and it's not dissimilar from from pickleball in that you have four people on the court. The court's generally about the same size, but there's one very, very significant critical difference between the two. Can you describe that succinctly, please?
Yeah, but then it comes pickleball. It always comes up in the conversation when you talk about paddle.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I mean, the US has experienced the same growth in the pickleball side that
Yeah.
Europe has experienced with paddle. It's not something that is going to compete with pickleball. It's something that it's a new type of entertainment that is going to help racket sports overall to transform their dynamic and become more successful, right? And pickleball is it's perfectly combined with paddle. I mean, we've already seen many facilities in the US in which you combine pickleball
You do
with paddle.
both.
Yeah, you do both. And the main difference, I would say that if we think about pickleball, it's easier. It's easier than paddle. You get it faster. You in both sports you don't need a great physical condition, but in
Thank goodness.
pickleball
That
you
means
can
I can pick it up pretty quickly then.
what I mean it's something that everyone has played in the US. I mean,
Yeah.
you can be extreme. I mean, you can be in a really bad condition, physical condition, but you can play pickleball.
Well,
In
even
paddle,
better. I mean, it's because paddle, you have walls. You don't have to run and chase the ball after you
well,
miss it. I mean, that's a
well,
lovely thing.
but if they slice when they hit the ball, if they get a slice, I mean, it's you need to
You have to
I mean,
duck
they get
down
down and take the ball.
and get
Yeah,
low.
so it's not. It could be very low and very fast. But I would say that from a velocity perspective, it's slower. Pickleball, you don't need to have even a. I mean, with a very, very, very low physical condition, you can play it with paddle. It's not exactly like for absolutely everyone, but it's
Yep.
very inclusive as well. The players that are coming from tennis, it's pretty soon to analyze and to get insights from the community that has migrated from pickleball to paddle. But I would say that the good tennis players that have tried that have started to play pickleball and they try paddle, they love paddle.
Right. It's
But
fast
the ones
moving.
that have yeah, but the ones that have adopted pickleball as the first racket sport they try, normally they stay playing pickleball and they don't need to try paddle for getting a new thing, right?
But
It's like
if you love racket sports and you've tried several of them, because as I've watched paddle, it looks a little bit almost like pickleball and racquetball had a baby, or squash had a baby, and you're playing off the walls. The play is continuously in motion. It's people going outside the glass to hit shots and things like that. It's a really fast moving, fun to watch sport. And I'm assuming that if you love racket sports in general, this is the kind of person who's going to really fall in love with paddle.
and 90% of the elements that have made pickleball successful apply to paddle as well.
Yeah, okay.
They are very similar in that sense in which the inclusivity is important, the fact that they are easy to learn, the dynamic of the game itself, the velocity. So it's a kind of paddle is a kind of European version of what you've seen in pickleball. But the thing with pickleball, if you compare the industry with paddle, is that in pickleball, I mean, you can set up a court in a
parking lot,
in a parking lot,
yeah,
in a restaurant, whatever. So it's a bit more. I mean, we've seen great examples like chicken and pickleball, etc.
Yeah.
It's like so it's extremely informal in that sense. Paddle demands an infrastructure, a certain investment, which is not like huge, but I mean, it's a construction.
Yeah, you do have to create the court and the walls and the things associated with that.
So you need a permit,
right?
You need, I mean, so it's more demanding in terms of infrastructure, let's say. But I also see pickleball getting in that space. I mean, with big warehouses, with great pickleball courts, the best in class, with air conditioning, with parking for the players. I mean, but it all started in a more informal way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then people picked up on it. They saw the growth of it and they wanted to find new business opportunities attached to it. Now, paddle has been very popular in Europe. It has been growing for years in other countries, in Latin America and South America and things like that. What made you think that the United States is potentially the next great market for paddle? When did the light bulb go off in your head saying we need to approach the United States more aggressively in growing paddle?
Well, I perfectly remember a conversation with my my board members in which they were all telling me that paddle was not going to succeed in the UK because the tennis tradition and the kind of country club model and kind of private environments were not allow paddle to grow. And I told them, I don't see any difference in between a player from the UAE or from Sweden or from Spain, Italy, or South Africa at that time. So I don't see why paddle is not gonna break those barriers and it's gonna be successful in the UK. And in today's world, we have in Playtomic more than 200 clubs active in the UK, and in total, I think around 250 clubs in the UK. Paddle, purely paddle, and they are becoming the most successful in the world in terms of paddle dynamic, open matches everywhere, people extremely addictive, super engaged communities. So the UK represented an extremely important milestone for the industry because from the UK, you've seen a lot in many industries. If you succeed in the UK, you have more chances to succeed in the US. And 1 year ago, no, I would say almost 2 years ago, I decided to start analyzing the US paddle ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, we were basically researching, and we attended a great congress called Racquet 2024. And I was impressed about the number of leads that we got from people interested in building their own
Okay, so you
facilities.
go to this event and you started to try to engage people to determine what it kind of looked and felt like, and you kind of took a step back. It was more than you had anticipated.
And then I thought, this is going to happen.
Okay.
This is the same thing I felt when I was thinking about the UK, and there you had pickleball exploding in the US. But I said, okay, but why paddle is not going to succeed? At that time, it was like 20 clubs, 30 clubs, 40 clubs. But the number of people interested in building their own facilities was starting to get very, very interesting. And well, I went to my colleagues and I said, I think we need to invest seriously on the US market because it's going to happen as well. And we were not wrong, I tell you. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's not pickleball yet. The coverage, obviously, and the number of courts are not massive yet, but it's happening. And listen, next year you will call me during my vacation.
Back on vacation.
You will double check. You will double check if we've doubled the number of courts. But I'm quite sure about that.
So you're not alone in thinking this, right? Because your company Playtomic, which is basically a company that's bringing the infrastructure that lies underneath the growth of paddle. So I want you to talk a little bit about the founding of Playtomic and its role in the sport. But you just received $70 million in funding from Banco Santander to grow the sport in the US. So when you talk about, okay, I think this is something going to happen, and clearly there's money that's now coming in to support that growth and anticipating that growth. So can you talk both about Playtomic and how that investment opens up new sports?
You're never going to succeed in the US if you do not allocate the resources needed for making an industry that is not yet there something big, right? So
knock down as many hurdles as you can.
Yeah. Getting back to Playtomic, basically our aim as a tech company is to facilitate to absolutely everyone the social joy of racket sports, right? So as a tech company, we develop a product that in one hand you have this amazing management software for clubs for helping them to run the facility. I mean, with the schedule, the payments, the customers, the academy,
the nuts and bolts,
all what they need as a tech platform for running their facility. And on the other hand, you have the state of the art app for the players. And after 8 years, we've become the world's largest community of both clubs and players with more than 6,000 clubs around the world and 1.5 million active users using the app on a monthly basis, right? And
So you've
behind
built
that, as I
community.
said, exactly, because the community is driven by the social elements that we've built inside the product, right? Everything that is built in the app, it has this social component, right? I mean, for instance, I can make a booking right now. I have a club 300 meters from my house here in Formentera, and I can book a court, but I can immediately split the payment with my three friends. I can chat
Okay.
between them. I can see their rating. I can upload the score afterwards. I can post the picture of the match. So it goes beyond the booking itself, and more importantly, if I can't find the three players that I need for closing the match, I can join an open match, or I can publish the booking in the community so someone else can join the match
It's
at
kind
my
of
level.
it's kind of interesting too from the standpoint that the app does what it needs to do from as far as like building the infrastructure for the sport, but more importantly, it feels like it's connecting people to the joy of the game and the community with which you're helping build. Those are not inseparable. They are not things that should be
Well,
treated differently.
the thing is that we are a tech company. We build this product that facilitates the social joy as a tech company, as a management software and an amazing app for the players. But in the US specifically, trying to match both worlds, we decided to bet seriously on the market. And one of the key things that we decided was to allocate important resources for helping the clubs to grow faster. You know what I mean? So we've decided to help the industry to grow by helping guys building clubs,
Right. So they
investors
don't have
building
to
clubs.
do it all on their own.
Exactly. We support them. We financially support them in that sense. So we help them to grow faster. It doesn't matter if it is a new club in Texas or if it is a big padel chain that has recently opened two clubs, but they had appetite for two more, and we help them to grow. So we felt the responsibility to help the industry to grow, and in that sense, we are also betting on financing the club investors with the infrastructure that is needed for developing the industry and therefore developing our own company, our tech company.
So one of the things that's obviously a huge advantage is sitting at the middle of all the infrastructure, the clubs, the players, the technology, is that you then can collect a lot of information about what's happening in the sport. And you just released the Global Padel Report recently. And I'm wondering what findings in the report really stood out to you as far as saying, boy, this is amazing, or didn't expect to see that. What were some of the things that really stood out to you as far as the results of the report?
Well, it's not easy to find a global industry growing at 22% year on year.
This podcast, 22% a year. This podcast.
Yeah. Wow. Congratulations. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. It is, I mean, it's a sports that requires, an important infrastructure to be developed. And I think we published that there were like 7,000 new courts were built last year. And take into consideration that those 7,000 plus courts on average would be like 30K cost.
Yep.
So just the level of investment, the global investment that is behind padel it's very it's very relevant. Okay. So it's not just it is a global industry growing at 22% year over year growth rate. And listen, the investment behind all of this happening, it's very relevant. Only in 2024, we're creating more than 10 million new players. Wow. It's quite impressive.
Yeah.
And more interestingly, the countries that have been developing padel in the last 10 years, like Spain or Italy or the Nordics, have proven a kind of sustainable maturity. I mean, the players, it's not like a trend. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's not like they try it and then drop off. They try it, and
exactly,
it's sticky in that people
exactly.
want to come
It's, yeah,
back and enjoy it again and again and again.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, I mean, and becoming the world's, let's say, largest tech platform serving this industry, it's a, I mean, good place to be because we are,
Yeah.
I mean, we are trying to help the US market to grow now because the best is yet to come. I
Yeah.
mean, the US has not yet achieved 10% of their capacity in Asia. I mean, if you think about Asia, I mean, it's not yet there because in the US we're getting there, but in Asia, I mean, it's just maybe Indonesia, in which we're growing quite nicely. The industry is growing quite nicely. But what about India? What about China? What about Australia? It's like it's. I mean, the best is yet to come. So
It can be vast.
absolutely, absolutely.
And you also have now the advantage of Rafael Nadal, one of the true greats of the sports of tennis. Now, he's now both an investor in Playtomic and a spokesperson. So I think we've seen athletes understand the power of who they are and the brand, what they bring to the table in terms of their own personal brand to help businesses grow. So, can you speak a little bit to the importance of having Nadal associated with Paddle and backing the initiative? What does that bring to the table for you, and what's working with him in that kind of capacity like?
I mean, there's no doubt that Rafa is one of the most respected athletes in the world, especially in the racket sports field. But it's not only that they do respect him, is the fact that, I mean, he's been extremely, how to say, he's been an example for all of us in the way that he's been a professional in his whole career, right? And for us as Spaniards, you can imagine that we are trying to export paddle because in the paddle has been, I mean, it was created in Mexico, then it was very successful developed in Argentina, but very soon came to Spain, and in Spain really exploded, and it was migrated to the rest of Europe. So as Spaniards, and no matter we are a global company, and just only a small portion of the 200 people team that we have are still Spanish. The thing is that for us, Rafa is it's like it's the athlete. It's not one of the most respect. It's the athlete, and his passion about tennis has been also expanded to the other racket sports, and and very soon we'll see things that will contribute, things and materials and marketing tools that would help the world to understand what is PAL, because Rafa is getting into PAL. He has opened not only his tennis academies but also his paddle clubs, etc. He's trying to practice paddle time to time, and that will help a lot the paddle industry.
What do you think will be, as you look ahead towards adoption in the US, right? It's so hard to get people's attention sometimes. This moment in time is often referred to as the attention economy. So with so many things competing for our very, very limited attention, what do you see are some of the keys for you and Paddle to break through to that? Is it just consistency? Is it more people like Rafa coming on and supporting what you're doing? What are some of the other things that you really feel are critical to getting that growth to where it is now, to where you want it to be?
That's a good question. I mean, Rafa and any other super important sports athletes that are getting into paddle are helping a lot the industry to grow and attracting that attention for sure. And we are partnering with Rafa because we believe that Rafa would help paddle to grow in other geographies for sure. But more importantly, I would say that the essence of paddle, that social element that we spoke about, that driving force of paddle based on the social component, is very authentic. It's like, it's not artificial. It's real. It's not something that you can scroll in. It's not like you can scroll the smartphone and check and then go to a different thing. The paddle experience overall is very authentic. It's very authentic. It's very social. It connects you to people, so that it makes it very, very different in that sense. Very, very real.
Yeah.
And this is why it's becoming so successful. And to be honest, we've built a tech company, but in Playtomic, we are so proud of having built something that drives people to the court. It's not like we've built a tech company that just wants to generate a huge audience, clicking on my app, spending time on my app. My job is to driving people to the court. So at the end of the day, I'm making them play more and hopefully making them renouncing to other kind of bad thing and practicing sports, right? So it's not the kind of tech company that, okay, I might be creating some dangerous thing for the teenagers. It's the opposite. I'm building, we are as a team building a tech that is helping others to practice more sports.
You are the rare tech company that is driving people, are creating opportunities to leave your app to get outside and play, knowing that's going to be the thing that draws them back.
See, the more they open the app, the more probability we have that they will play again. Because as we've built this social thing, this social layer, so they chat in between players, they upload the score, they post a picture, they split the payment, they check the rating of someone else. With that, you are increasing the probability that they book again, or they join an open match, or they sign up for a tournament. Because the more they open the app, the more possibilities we have that they get back again to the court.
I'm with Pablo Carro. He is the co-founder of Playtomic and clearly an evangelist for the sport of paddle. Pablo, thanks so much for spending time with me today. But before I let you go, I'm going to put you into the lightning round. This is a dangerous part of the conversation, a series of questions that you do not know what's coming. So are you ready?
I am.
If you finish this successfully, you can get back to vacation, and I know that is important right now. So
yeah, take that into consideration.
I will take that into consideration. Okay, here we go. First one: how many different ways have you heard paddle pronounced?
Paddle and paddle.
That's it. Just the two?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I can't imagine any other. It's like paddle, paddle. I don't know. Two.
I like paddle.
Paddle.
We're going to throw that one into the mix. Okay. If you were to play Rafael Nadal in a set of tennis, how many points would you win off of him?
If he takes it seriously in a set, a few points, because he makes a mistake, not because
because he double faults.
Okay. Not a single winner. Yeah, double fault, or you can always miss a ball, but a few.
All right. Well, let's modify it. How many points would you win off of Nadal if he had a poodle dog tied to one leg?
Wow, man, the same. A few.
The same. Even with the poodle dog handicap. Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Right. Very good.
It doesn't matter.
All right. You are famously from Spain. Does the jamón earn the hype? Is it that good?
Well, I live in Miami.
You live in Miami now, but like as a Spaniard, defend jamón.
Sometimes I'm desperately trying to find good Spanish ham, but jamón ibérico. It's one of the. It's one of the, not only one of the, let's say, greatest thing on earth. It's extremely healthy.
Okay.
Because if you eat the good one, you need to realize that the animal has only eaten the corks. It's like so the fat that you see is not real fat, bad fat. It's coming from the fruit, those trees.
It is going. So, right, very good. All right, good defense.
It's not only great. It's healthy.
All right, very good. Last
I'm
one.
defending the Spanish industry.
Really well defended. It felt like that could have gone on for a long time. We might have more interrupted your vacation. All right, last one. I just need you to close out this episode in Spanish by saying the following. This was the best podcast episode I've done today.
Ha sido el mejor podcast que he hecho, no solo hoy, sino en todas mis vacaciones. By far.
On all the vacations you've ever taken, this is the best one.
Exactly.
Pablo, Carro, thanks very much for the time.
Thank you, David. Gracias por invitarme.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the One-on-One Sports Business Conversations podcast. If you enjoyed it, we always appreciate a subscribe, share, comment, or like. And don't forget, you can always find past episodes at abcpartners.com/podcast. This podcast is written, produced, edited, and hosted by Dave Almy. And theme music was composed by Scott Holmes.